Have you heard an argument from that side who says, the gun control side, who says, this is what we want to see happen? Have you heard a legitimate or valid argument from that side? Something that says, okay, that's a place we could make a concession.
No. I have I have heard. So one of my legal mentors,
Mm-hmm.
he's a gun guy. He's actually the first person I went hunting with. He calls it the nuclear suitcase argument because he was like, if you're going to stand on principle, then you're going to have to accept the fact that you're arguing for people to have nuclear suitcase, and then that's where we start going at it.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily agree with that, but that argument, if I hold true to the purity of the logic of the ideology and the principle, I can see where he's coming from.
Yeah.
And so there's this notion of, okay, well then, what am I saying to myself? Am I saying that, okay, maybe there are some concessions, right? Maybe there are some limitations, so to speak. But then I think also there's this false notion that people think that we gun people expect there to just be this unbridled access to all types of firearms, and we don't, it's just a free-for-all. It's just like Oprah raining guns down on everyone.
Hell yeah.
And
Here's a gun. Here's a gun.
You get a gun.
but nobody ever stops to think. No one's advocating handing nuclear suitcases to rooms full of people.
That's not. Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of like you guys. What they don't acknowledge is, and a lot of it's due to ignorance because they don't follow the discussion and the debate. So the first time they ever hear about any gun law is when they're talking about assault weapon bans.
Yeah.
So they think it's reasonable because that's the first time. I'm like, dude, like there are 300 federal gun laws in this country, over 22,000 on the state level. We've been talking about gun laws.
Yeah.
Right.
How do people and finish that thought if there's more to finish? But and I hate to interrupt you because I don't want to forget
No, you're
this.
good.
What's the problem with the whole conversation about universal background checks?
Okay. So my issue with universal background checks is one, just off the bat, they're not going to do anything.
Right.
Let's just start. We have to start with that premise. Like they will literally not do anything because a criminal who wants to get a gun is already getting a gun illegally. It just is what it is. Now, in order to have any level of enforcement, you have to have a registry attached to it. You just have to, because it's kind of like if you had a gun on you and I need to find out whether or not you got a background check for that gun, there has to be a system that says this, you got a background check for this gun on this day.
Mm-hmm.
That essentially is a registry, right?
Right.
And some people can make the argument, well, that's what the whole FFL system we have now and next background check system is now. Except, it isn't. This is each individual dealer that has this information versus a national global registry of all the firearms in this country. Now, the question then becomes, so what's the problem with having a national gun registry? It seems innocuous, seems very, innocent. Well, the problem is that throughout history, time and time again, that registry coupled with this universal background check has proven not to do anything. And so what the government or the people in power will say is, since that didn't work, we now need to confiscate guns or have voluntary or involuntary buybacks.
And we know you have 32 guns in your house, and we want every one of them.
Exactly.
Well, the thing about me was Christmas of 2017, I took all my guns out on a 14-foot John boat, and I was cleaning them out there, and the boat tipped over. It was cold, man. It was cold. But
I'm
lost every
actually
gun.
working on a shirt.
I held on to one little 38 special, 5 bullets in it. That's all I got back.
But then people think the idea of confiscation, door-to-door confiscations, would never happen here in this country, and it has already.
It has happened. So you take the guy in Maryland who was killed by law enforcement because his family reported that he was dangerous, carrying his own gun around, and they wrestle the guy, and he winds up getting shot by the law officers.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the deal. The guy probably would have never killed himself, but thanks to law enforcement, he's dead.
And even on a bigger scale.
Yeah.
After Katrina.
After Katrina, that's right.
They were going door to door. Literally, it was a full-blown confiscation.
Yeah.
No one ever wants to talk about that. But then we're crazy tinfoil hat wearing lunatics because we talk about we don't want confiscation.
Yeah.
No, it's happened.
People have to think more critically. They really do. And that's the thing. That's one of the things I've always appreciated about you is you're a critical thinker.
Real quick before you go, I want to talk about the guide I put together titled, If I Could Carry Only One Gun. In this guide, I talk about which gun that would be and the reasons why. So be sure to click the link in this video to download your free copy today. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I'm Colion Noir, and I'm out.